Here's a GE AM clock radio, solid state as you might guess, and judging by the date code sticker, I'm going to guess this is from 1977. I got this off of eBay and it arrived in the mail today. There's actually 2 or 3 of these things around town at various flea markets that are all in beat to heck condition, priced at $15 to $20 a piece, and there's no way I would pay that for something beat up. In fact, the last seller around here that had one of these that wanted that kind of money and it was all beat up, and I asked him would he take any less, and it insulted him. So I got on eBay and found this one, $16.99 free shipping, and I realized the shipping really wasn't free. They had the radio jacked up enough to cover it, but it's in decent shape. I think it'll clean up okay. It works, but the volume control's a little noisy, and I think the oscillator is out of alignment. The stations come in a little bit higher on the dial than they should. There's WSM.
Travis Tritt gave me this guitar. You've talked about this, and I talked about it. Of the individual. It happened to you.
And should be aggressively.
This tuning knob is very hard to turn.
You know, I get more.
Okay, let's open this up and see what we've got. Okay, and here we are all opened up. This radio was made in Singapore, by the way. Our speaker is mounted in the back of the radio. Here's our little printed circuit board, our Telecron clock movement, and there's our dropping resistor. Yeah, GE loved these dropping resistors. They hated using power transformers for some reason. So instead of a power transformer, they use a big power resistor to drop the 120 volts incoming AC line voltage down to a lower voltage that the chassis can deal with. Unless I'm missing something, I believe this is a 4 transistor set. By 77, AM only clock radios were starting to go on their way out. In fact, I was looking in the Radio Shack catalog, and generally Radio Shack offered certain products longer than anybody else did, and I think they offered an AM clock radio as recent as '83, and the one they offered was a digital radio, surprisingly enough, and I think their last AM table radio without a clock was in the '86 catalog, but I think pretty much everybody else was done with AM only by the late 70s, maybe early 80s.
On KFSO.
Okay, I adjusted the oscillator trimmer on the tuning capacitor.
Go right ahead, Taylor.
Just did it by ear on a local station, and we have it about where it's supposed to be now. We about 910.
What's going on in this?
And there's WSM coming in weak, about 650. Okay, here we are back together.
Michael Savage and the Savage Nation on WALT AM and FM Meridian News Talk 102.1 FM and 9. When the introduction of the federal healthcare website was such a mess,
I don't know where all that RF interference is coming from.
Now she's leaving on her own.
Try turning the power plug around. Yeah, that didn't help any.
zone defense by Dallas. Tapping charges. Scott Goldberg, ABC News.
Not the greatest AM radio I've ever owned, but
rollout of healthcare.gov.
I mainly got it because it's a later model AM clock radio,
Fatal since 2010. Got the feds looking
and it will serve my purpose should I ever decide to put it by my bed and use it to wake up by. Okay, there you go, the 77 GE clock radio. I sprayed the volume control with this stuff, and I peeked out the IF and RF coils and transformers
The department in Albuquerque
with this screwdriver here, and it's working about as good as it can be expected to work. Okay, thanks for watching, and more to come later.